What is up, guys? How are you guys doing today? Oh, he already knows, Magician. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Ah, here's the man. Here is the man. How you doing, Anon?
Hello, Gara. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
This
you
is
too, man.
Anonymous. I'm doing good. Just had like I talked to you the other day. Have a few minutes I could get out from the family and talk with you for a bit.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Yeah, you've been respectful through everything, so I do appreciate that. And that's the biggest thing is we can have disagreements with each other on numerous things, but as long as we're adults, I'm good with it.
Hell yeah, same here, man.
Cool. So where would you like to start?
So, not many two people are asking questions, but I do have one burning question for you.
Okay.
Was was Quantum serious about these copyright strikes? Like, how can I explain this? Like he actually thought he was in the right with these copyright strikes?
Yeah. No, that's not it's not a joke or that's not nothing like that. He was serious and that is what and how he believes. Um, and to that effect, there's a few things that do kind of point in his favor because when you really look into copyright, and copyright infringement, immediately everybody talks about, well, you got a defense for that, and that defense is obviously going to be fair use, and transformative.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have these laws, then CNN could call copyright when Fox News uses their stuff, and we don't want the news to be able to do this. So it makes perfect sense why we don't want people to be able to just say copyright, copyright, copyright on everything. So I get that part of the argument, 100%. But when we looked into, because me and him actually looked into it together, going back and forth, because he had his views, but he didn't have a very good understanding of it other than what he had read on YouTube with their policies. And as I'm sure you're aware, YouTube is kind of, they kind of step out of it. They try to basically say that you can go, if you have a problem with our decision, it's really not final. You can go to a court of law, and then you could really have it out. That's just their policy position, and they try to stay out of it because YouTube doesn't want to get involved in any real legal matters if they don't have to. Unfortunately, that kind of leaves it open for people to be able to do what Quantum has done by making claims, copyright claims, and stuff like that, because it is kind of a gray area. And although I would say, yeah, I agree with transformative and all that being the more dominant side of the coin. If you were to look at court cases, you're going to see that a lot of times people will claim copyright infringement and then they wind up getting shot down because it is transformative. However, there are some cases that go the other way. And, so it does kind of depend on a case-by-case basis. And I'm no lawyer. I'm a complete layman. This is just my understanding of it. So
Yeah.
that is kind of that's kind of the mindset in that Quantum shared, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's totally understandable. It's just that like I remember like what was it? About 7 channels was re-uploading his content and stuff, and I simply told him this is how this is why what is Quantum's bitching about. You're still in his content without transforming it like at all.
Yeah. Well, and I don't I don't have any specific beef with Rich. He's entertaining, and I disagree with a lot that he says, and some of it I agree with. One thing I don't like that he does is he uses and I'll tell him to his face later as well, but I don't like that he does the full video. At least if you went to a news channel, they would pick out the certain pieces of the argument that they're against to
Yeah.
have a rebuttal with. and they would do it like that. And certain people, Rich being one of them, he does it whole cloth. He plays the entire video. I mean, yeah, he does stop it and stuff, but some people I've heard say, oh, well, you can play a video for X amount of seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and as long as you pause it after, say, 10 seconds and you make a comment, then it's good to go. But if you actually look it up, which I did, there is no actual written rule that says, in a legal sense, I'm not talking about YouTube, but in a legal sense, there's no rule that actually says you can do X amount of seconds.
Yeah,
so it's really, you look at the court cases, and a lot of it, you go on copyright.gov, and they talk about the amount of the material that's used, and they talk about the effects upon the market and how it harms the original owner's work. And it's very, ambiguous. It's kind of just, it really is a gray area. And so either side, it's just a gray area. But one thing that seems to be true is the more that you use of somebody's content, the worse case that person that's using it has.
Yeah, it's like I always say, they really need to update the copyright laws because everything is such a damn gray area. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wish they did have more up-to-date rules on a lot of things pertaining to the internet. As we know, Congress is very lackluster on everything having to do with internet freedoms and rules and limitations on all sorts of different factors, So, yeah, I mean, at one point, I myself had became a state delegate for the state that I'm living in. So I've dipped my toe into politics on a bigger stage, and it's a shit show. It really is.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
God, so, yeah. I've before I started doing content on Quantum, I sat down for like hours with my lawyer, like saying, like, look, copyright is such a gray fucking area that I need your expertise to help me figure all this out before I release this video and all that type of shit. It was.
So what did he tell you?
He simply told me is that as long as it's not going to, how can I explain this? As long as it's not going to infringe on his rights, such as like, I took his whole video without transforming it like at all. Jesus Christ. As long as I transform it and I add like more content to it, like if I doubled the length of it and plus more, then it's fair. But if I only, how can I say this? If I didn't add more content to it, then it's, Quantum would have me by the balls, basically.
That kind of reminds me, and I'm at a loss for the name of the YouTuber. It was some girl, you probably know what I'm talking about. It was this girl that was watching videos and or movies. I can't remember which it was, and she was watching them whole cloth, the whole thing. And she was just sitting off to the side, kind of snickering and making jokes while the movie was playing. And she wound up, if I remember correctly, she got sued over that and she lost.
I don't think it was Susie Lou, but I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish I should have wrote something down that I forgot. This is kind of impromptu, like we were talking the other day, because everybody's got their life and everything, and I've been pretty busy this year with my family, so I didn't get much time to prepare. And I've never done any interviews, even with Quantum. I mean, not on his YouTube channel, and that has to do really with the amount of time I have. I have some spare time here or there, but that's it. So you're the first one, and as everybody can tell, I am not Quantum. There's been some sort of weird conspiracy that I am Quantum and that he uses me as a mouthpiece. I'm my own person. I have my own ideas just like everybody in your audience does. And for better or worse, that's my position. And, if you have a minute, I could kind of tell you the beginning of how I met Quantum.
Actually, yeah, go for it. And we'll just wait for chat to come up with some questions. Hell yeah, okay. Go for it, man.
Sure. So kind of the origin story. I mean, originally, I'm a guy that's big in the audio and video, and Quantum, obviously, he does the video side of it. And years ago, about a decade ago, I went down to Best Buy, like a lot of us do, and I had my TV professionally calibrated. Spent $300 to get this calibration. I had bought the top of the line plasma TV of the day, brought it home after spending thousands of dollars on this TV, got it professionally calibrated, and when I looked at it compared to my older TV, I was like, it just did not impress me. Everything felt dull, and I went for a couple months like that, and I tried to do my own calibrations, and over the years, that is what the industry said, and that's what they call a reference calibration.
Right.
And to me, this is my preference. So people may have other ideas about what they like, but this is my preference, and I wanted a little bit more pop to my television set. I mean, hey, you spend $4,000 on a TV, you want it to look impressive. You know what I mean?
Oh, hell yeah.
So about a decade from there, because this was back in like 2013 when I got that TV. A decade later, I run across this guy, Quantum, for the first time. And he was doing these calibrations, and he was going in there, but he wasn't doing a reference calibration, and that's where the big disconnect is between, Ninjitian, Classy, FOMO, Vincent from HD TV Test, all these big guys.
Yeah.
They all do reference calibrations, and there's a set standard for that, and these guys do a very good job at it. Quantum is really, no pun intended, he is the black sheep. He's the guy that's doing it different than everybody else. And a lot of people got caught up where they'd call him a scammer and this or that and the other because they thought he was trying to claim that he was a quote-unquote reference calibrator. And that kind of got lost in the mix on a lot of conversations that still come up. He's not a reference calibrator. He's never claimed to be a reference calibrator. And for me, going from a reference calibration that was done professionally by Best Buy, me personally, I was not looking for that myself. So when I ran across him and I saw what he was doing, I was like, wow, this guy's got an interesting take on things. And so I started commenting in the comments section, and he commented back. And that eventually, over about a month's time, we had a good dialogue back and forth. And some member had mentioned hey, why don't you guys get a Discord? Because it's kind of hard to follow comments across multiple YouTube videos.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
So he's like, well, I don't know much about Discord. And myself, I had never downloaded the app on I've never used it on anything. But I was like, hey, I like helping people too with the knowledge that I've gained. So I'd love to give you a hand. So I wound up becoming his founding moderator. And the Discord, which is pretty heavily talked about, I know you've checked out and had a few screenshots.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we went in there with all good intentions, just talking about video. And we got into audio because that's a subject I love, and so we had multiple channels. But one thing with Quantum is he does not pull any punches. And some of his thoughts are definitely not PC and for everybody. And that would almost be okay if you stuck by your guns, because everybody has different viewpoints, good, bad, or indifferent. And the thing that bothered me initially was he would make a statement outside of the audio-video realm, and then somebody would take a screenshot of it or whatever, and he would say, oh, I didn't say that. That was another moderator that I gave the keys to take care of, my Twitter or, whatever the place would be. And I just didn't like that he didn't stand by his statements. I understand he was going to get some fire for the things that he said, but it really bothered me that he didn't own up to it. And the way I am is, if I say something, if I put something out there, if it's controversial, I'm not going to back down. I might try to clarify it, but I'm not going to back down from it and say, hey, this wasn't me. And so that did bother me. And as I talked to you before, the latest thing that happened that really kind of blew out between me and him
Right.
was when he put up that military video calling out the veterans. And the thing is, he did have a bad experience, and I'm not going to get, into details on his personal life. He could do that himself. But he's told me about him, and he's had some also serious health issues because of the military, so I'm told. And so I was like, that's what you should clarify. I mean, that's what you put out, and that's what I asked him. I was like, hey, can you, I think you should walk this back or at least clarify it, because that really hurt me being a 9/11 veteran. Because right out of high school, I joined the military. 9/11 happened, and I got to go through that for the years I was in the military before I got out. And that really hit me at a personal level. Because if you were, I don't know how old your audience is, but during that time of September 11th, after that happened, there was so much pride in this country. It was it bring you to tears. It was amazing, the heart that this country had. And for somebody to talk down on the military, I can understand if you don't agree with the policies or the commander in chief. I'm not a fan of the president, but I still respect the men and the women of the military, and that really hurt me for him to say that.
Yep.
And so that's where we came to loggerheads. Is I was like, you can't say this, and I knew it was heading towards a big blowout. And his big blowouts is what bothered me is he always, if somebody didn't kind of go lockstep with what he said, if you were on the outs of his thought, then he would decide, well, I don't need you around. And, during our Discord, at one point we had like 1,200 people in the Discord, and he wound up in one day deleting over 1,000 members in one day.
Holy shit.
And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm getting rid of all the inactive. And the reason why he did that was because there was, quote unquote, leaks coming out. People were getting screenshots, probably yourself included, of, stuff that was going on there, of statements that he said, that he posted, but once again, he wasn't standing behind his beliefs. And so instead of, looking at himself like, if you're afraid somebody's going to see what you post, then maybe you shouldn't post it in the first place if you don't have the Constitution to stand behind your own words. So I was like, you're going to delete everybody so that they can't give out any more screenshots? That didn't make any sense to me. Because I always thought, an open policy was always the best. Good ideas versus bad ideas in the marketplace of ideas.
Exactly.
That's what seemed like the thing to me, And so I asked him about that, and he would, every time I would question him on what he would do or what he thought, he always would double down with me, and I never really did get through to him on a lot of things, on any of the controversies. I wish I had. I mean, who knows? I don't really know why that he acts the way that he acts. In some regards, he's a great person. In other regards, it's questionable.
Right.
And I mean, we all have people that we watch, and we don't always agree with them 100%. Just because you're a follower of somebody doesn't mean you have to agree with them 100%.
Yeah, I don't understand why he did that to when he did it to Rich when he said he was a fan of Bosch. I'm just like, bro, no, he doesn't agree with everything. It was a total mess. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. I mean, that was taken out of context. But in the same light, and not all of it, there's definitely most of it that was pretty accurate about what's been reported about quantum. But there is a lot of inaccuracies as well. And so, the thing with the Bosch was like, well, if we're just going to kind of throw up on the wall, see what shit can stick, maybe, I'm sure he doesn't actually believe that controversy with Bosch, but we're going to throw it out there anyway. It's just kind of throwing mud back and forth. So that's what that was. It was just kind of, in a way, it's like politics. You're just throwing mud to see what sticks, that sort of thing. So, but, the whole Elden Ring thing, he doesn't even really do, it was kind of a downtime for for TVs in general.
Mm-hmm.
And so there wasn't a lot going on in the TV world at the time. And so when he does that to continue to put out some content, he'll dip into other areas, one of them being gaming. I mean, so he went in there, and obviously he had a very bad, controversial take on Elden Ring. I know a lot of people, from the groundswell, you can tell a lot of people love that game. I've never played it personally, and that's only because I got out of gaming in the last couple years.
Right.
But I can see myself having played that game. I don't have nothing against it. But because of the controversy, you know, and the things that he said during that about the members, it's never a good idea to paint any group of people in one brush stroke, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I've talked to him and said, you can't say these things. Or at least if you do, stand behind them. And so he either doubles down on something, or he says that he didn't say. But usually the stuff he doubles down on is the wrong stuff to double down on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a mixed bag with him. He's a bit all over the place. His expertise lies in TVs, and you know, like I said earlier, he doesn't do reference calibrations. He does a term that actually helped him create, which is called beyond reference. And the reason we brought that up was because everybody was saying, oh, he's claiming to be a professional reference calibrator. And, you know, maybe I ain't going to say he hadn't slipped up and maybe said that in the past. I know on his YouTube site he says master calibrator, which, you know, technically there is no such thing. It's kind of thumbing the nose at the rest of the community is what it really is about by saying master calibrator, because he's got a lot of flack back for his style of calibration, which is more of it's a stylistic approach to calibration. It's really about, it's kind of like in Austin Powers, it's literally, it's sharks with laser beams on their heads. It's taking your TV to the max. And so that's what he's about. And me personally, I love it. I love to see my TV pop. I love to see friends and family members come over and be like, holy shit, wow, what TV is this? And I was like, yeah, it's good TV, but it's not just the TV. I could hook you up too. So, but it is a preference. It's not, by any means, I'm not standing here saying it's a reference calibration. It's not. It is beyond reference, as the name implies. So.
Fair. Actually, I have a question for you from one of my viewers, and it kind of you know, got me thinking too. Why does Quantum TV call everybody boys and girls? It's like, huh?
Probably because it's a way of kind of belittling or talking down to somebody to elevate yourself. He's never mentioned it specifically, like, hey, I'm gonna call these guys boys, haha. You know, it's nothing like that. He does have a disdain for these people he's arguing against, and to a certain extent, I could kind of see how that is reinforced, because you put something out there and it's accepted into the community as something, say, that he puts out that's really negative, and so he gets a lot of negative feedback. Unfortunately, a lot of that feedback, just lowest common denominator, you know, a lot of times people commenting, he gets a lot of very racial things said to himself and very nasty things. I mean, heck, even right after we had started the Discord originally, me and a couple of the original moderators were in there, and we got messages saying end this and end that to me.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was like, huh. And I mentioned it. I showed the screenshot. I shared it with Quantum, and he's like, dude, now you know what it's like to be black. I was like, wow. You know, I really hope better for our country, because I don't see us as that. That is the lowest common denominator. I don't believe nearly the majority or even close to is like that. But unfortunately, you do have the scum that say these things. And that, it kind of fuels him to almost, I think he takes a perspective that everybody feels that way. that is against him. And so he kind of takes that fuel and uses it to go after who he's going after, and it's like he's talking to those people.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to look at the broader community, which in most communities, hey, we're all humans, and we all have families and people we care for and love. And a lot of times on the internet, everybody, myself included, I'm sure, we all get very scornful, and we're all dicks at some point,
Exactly.
But he does take it very much to heart. I'm sure, as you can tell, he's a very emotional person, and he makes these, and I've talked to him about it. I was like, hey, when you make these reaction videos, a lot of them that he's now put on that controversial Truth channel, like when you make these videos, you really should. Do you not go back and like rewatch your video with a cooler head, or with your wife, or with a friend or a family member? Be like, hey, you want to watch this with me? Make sure it doesn't seem like I really stepped over the line here. As far as I can tell, he doesn't do that. And when I've asked him about it, he just puts it out there. So a lot of the takes you see, they're really hot takes. And unfortunately, that's not a good thing. As you know, if you put out a hot take in any emotional state, there's always something, I'm sure you've said, that you look back like, man, I should have worded that differently.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
But that he's a knee-jerk reaction, hot take type of a person. Very, very quick to judgment. Very emotionally, hurt by a lot of these hateful comments. That it's legitimate stuff, but he's not looking at the broader picture. And I've tried to help him with that, but it's been about a year and a half since I've known him, and it's not changed. In fact, with the whole controversy, because I was with him before the whole mischief and the Elden Ring thing went down, and it's only gotten worse.
Oh, no.
This controversy. It's only gotten worse. Before, there was controversy, but it was aimed at the AV community. It was aimed at the Ninjicians and the Classies and the FOMOs and stuff like that. But that was basically the reference versus the now beyond reference kind of argument, because 99% of the industry, they are all for the reference, and to a certain extent it makes sense, because you have to be in that. You need to have some sort of a foundation when you're making a movie, to have all sorts of different standards out there. You do have stylistic approaches when you look at certain people. You look like a Michael Bay film. I just watched his movie Ambulance, which I wouldn't waste your time on it. But
yeah, it's Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, he does all these, camera flares and stuff, and that's a preference. And you look at other movies like The Matrix, and that's overly green in The Matrix. So people do have these stylistic choices. But if you don't have a baseline, and it makes sense if you don't have that foundation, that the regular run-of-the-mill movies that ain't going for a certain director's intent choice can be skewed and can be off. So, but it does come down to a preference. But that's what that whole controversy used to be, and he got under a lot of people's skins. Him and Ninjician went back and forth, because Ninjician's a very, very talented calibrator. He had just recently, within the last year, I believe it was, he got certified. Him in class, he went down and got certified.
Oh yeah.
And but them guys already knew it from the beginning. A lot of people have said that, well, because Quantum doesn't have this certification and all this, that he's not a legitimate calibrator. Well, once again, he's not a reference calibrator, but he does have the tools to do so. So not up to standard to some of these people. Some of these people have these meters that will cost you $10,000. I mean, it's crazy expensive, some of this stuff. Just to calibrate a TV, you're going to spend, with all your gear, you're going to spend a lot of money. So, but yeah, he kind of does his own thing, and he always has, and he's always got a little bit of flack about it. And like I said, he's so controversial. When anybody gives him any crap, He doesn't hold his punches or his emotions, and that's what always has kind of been his downfall. He doesn't think at it from a calm point of view. He doesn't look at himself and be like, hey, I'm a different person. I'm not even trying to be like these guys, and he does it totally different. He does the way he does his settings is as I don't know if your audience knows, but a real calibrator comes to your house.
Yeah.
He brings all of his gear. He brings his laptops. He sits down to your TV. He puts his meters up in front of your TV, and he goes through the white balance and the color, and he does a reference calibration. But, these guys can also do, and this is recent, because it wasn't back in 2013 when I had Best Buy come do with the Geek Squad calibration, and that was $300. These guys, like an Ninjician, will come out, and they'll do a calibration, but they'll do a reference calibration, and they'll also do, okay, we understand the industry's kind of changed. People kind of like sharks with laser beams on their heads. So if you want something a little bit more punchy, they do that as well. But their bread and butter and their real beliefs are reference, and that's what they're known for.
Yeah.
But so a real calibrator comes to your house and does just that, and they start at $300, and they could go up to $500, depending if they're out of your area. They might charge you a little bit extra for travel time. So Quantum's deal was, well, I'm going to charge people $5, and I'm going to calibrate their beyond reference, calibrate their TVs like this. And people are saying, well, how can you do that? That doesn't make sense. Every TV's different, kind of like a snowflake, right? That is true to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So every TV has a range of accuracy, and in these ranges, when they put them on these laptops, to be very, I hope I'm not boring you. I'll try to be very.
No, go ahead, man. You're not boring me. Go ahead.
Okay. So to be very simplified and concise, they basically come and they have what's called a delta error. Anything beyond a 3 on a delta error is perceivable by the human eye. So anything typically below 3, and some people say 2.5, but for argument's sake, we'll just say 3. Anything below 3, unless you're like a serious calibrator, an average Joe will never see the difference below 3. These really good calibrators like Ninjician they can get it down into the 1s. But you can't notice a difference between a 1 and a 3 for the average person.
Right.
So Quantum, and he's shown his results, he gets into the 2s. He doesn't get quite as low as some of these guys, but it definitely shows that he does have the skill to do it. He does that, and then he bumps it up with his flair, his flavor, and if you were to then check the errors on that, some of those would be above that, depending on which tune, because his community would say, hey, I want more reds, I want more greens, whatever they want, and he would do that. And so some of that's kind of been taken out of perspective and saying, oh, look how horrible he is, or what a fake he is. But he's really not in the same boat as those guys. And so, although, yes, you want a calibrator to come to your house, ideally, that's what you want. I mean, where I live right here, I'm 300 miles away from the nearest Best Buy, believe it or not.
Holy cow.
I'm sure a lot of you guys are within a few, 10 miles or less. But for some people in parts of the country, it's hard to get a calibrator. So for me, when I saw him on YouTube, I was like, oh, $5? And I could do it myself. I know how to punch in numbers, on my TV. So I was like, hey, I don't even have to leave my house. TVs do vary. But usually a TV doesn't vary per manufacturer by more than about 1%. Because they're kind of, when TVs are made and they're manufactured and put out to the stores, they are already pre-calibrated. Now, to a lot lesser extent than any real calibration. And depending on the manufacturer, the calibration could be better or worse. Sony typically has some of the best, Sony and LG have some of the best calibrated TVs out of the box. We're talking delta errors that are right around or under 3 already to begin with. So
right.
Some of those are pretty spectacular. It depends on the picture mode. But, So this whole, you have to have a calibrator in-house to even get it done properly. To an extent, it's a misnomer, the way I understand it.
Right.
Because if you're talking, okay, my TV comes in under 3, and now I'm going to have somebody come calibrate my TV, and they get it to a 1, and say I'm only going for a reference calibration. Is the average person going to see it? Well, the numbers and the word out there is no. You can't see anything beyond 3. So
Interesting.
it's a bit of a gray area. It is a bit of a gray area there, and I'm not saying everybody can, because definitely Magician, he could see it. That guy's got an eagle eye when it comes to what's reference or not. But so that's that. I mean, there are other manufacturers that can really use the help. Some lesser end, Hisense, TCL, Vizio, which is real bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're all over the chart. But the thing is, most people, those Vizio, Hisenses, and TCLs, a lot of them are more budget-minded TVs, $1,000 or less. They're not these Sony, Samsung, LGs, which will cost you $2,000 to $3,000. It's so. Are you going to spend $300 on a calibration on a $1,000 TV? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you buy a brand new QD OLED Sony TV for $3,000, are you going to get that calibrated? Yeah, I would do it. But so I'm sure that's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
That's the hobby that I love, and that's what we were always into. And unfortunately, it took something that was a niche hobby for some, and it turned it, because of what Quantum said, and it turned it into this whole shitstorm. And originally, when I went into that Discord and founded it and helped them get it started, it was only about that. A bunch of us geeking out on how to make our TVs look kick-ass, because we love our home theater. That's what it was about. And it's now become this whole controversy. And a lot of shit has been said in both directions, And so it is unfortunate, because, I do listen to everybody. I listen to Rich's podcast some. I listen to Classy's. You don't do much YouTube, do you, other than as a guest?
Well, no, I just really make videos. That's really about it, to be honest, man. But my real profession is that I'm actually a nurse, so.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that about you. Okay.
Yeah. I kind of keep it on the down low, but it's whatever.
Well, you've had a fun few years then.
Yeah, tell me about it. But yeah, here's a burning question from one of my audience members. Are you worried about your family, especially with how, cuckoo Quantum gets sometime?
Yeah, that's a good question. And the answer is yes. My family is everything. Anything that we do online, it's for entertainment, it's for fun, or it's a hobby. But that's not what matters to me in this life. Everything I do is for my family. I have, I don't like to put out personal information about myself, but I have a large family and a great wife and a great life here. And I've talked with my wife about that, with everything going down. She said, is it worth it? Are you going to get into it? And I said, well, it's entertaining to a certain aspect, but yeah, some of these things said back and forth between people get really toxic, and you really are, for the most part, you're talking with the very bottom rung, the worst people. A lot of times, the most heated conversations are from some really nasty people. So you have to look out for that, because some people will take it, to an extreme, and they'll try to dox you and get your information and find out about you. And I know some of those extreme people, Quantum is shared pictures with me how they've came after him personally. They've attacked his vehicle, they've attacked his home, and took pictures outside of his house and stuff like that. And so that I am 100% against that.
Oh hell yes.
That gets really nasty. And we did get into a gray area there with actman, in that it's kind of one of the things when you're in the middle of something like that, you kind of take the side you're already on, and it's kind of this tribalism thing. It's like, oh, I'm for the Green Bay Packers, or I'm for the Cowboys, or whatever your pick is, and I'm for this, and you kind of wind up just pushing all out, even if you don't agree with everything they say. Like I said earlier, I don't agree with everything that Quan did by a long shot, but when you're kind of in the midst of it, it's kind of, well, you don't want to show any weakness either, because if you do, immediately the other side's gonna be like, we got you.
Oh so yeah, that dumb stuff. God.
Yeah, when the actman thing was going on, that some of it was that, and there was some shady shit happening on both sides. When actman got demonetized, he sat there on it for several days before he ever mentioned that it was actually YouTube and what he did on Twitter with the whole, albeit he put it out there as a knee-jerk reaction joke, saying he was going to, the doxing adventures with actman and YouTube families and stuff, and that wasn't taken too good by YouTube. They were pretty upset by it, and so he got demonetized. But he sat there for several days as everything was building and building and building, and he didn't say anything. And we're on the other side, and we're like, hey, I asked Quantum, I was like, did you do this? Did you have any part in this? He said, no, I didn't do that. I did a bunch of other shit, but I didn't do that. And he's like, I don't know why he's not saying so. And so we were trying to put out, hey, he wasn't demonetized by us. And then several days later, he went on, Philip DeFranco's show, and DeFranco had been talking with a YouTube employee, and he says, yeah, well, I understand that they did this to you. And actman was like, oh, yeah. And he kind of played it off, but he was really sitting on purpose to kind of bring it to a fever pitch.
Yeah, you want to know the real reason why he got demonetized? And it's not because of Twitter. Because I have actually... Okay. Let me mute myself real quickly so Chad doesn't hear this. They're going to rip my head off for this, but give me a quick second. Okay. All right, chat, we're back.
Well, but both that went back and forth and tit for tat on a lot of that stuff, and so, and by all means, the big controversy with some of the things that Quantum has said, with homophobic slurs and his viewpoints, I don't stand by that at all. I'm of the understanding that I may not agree with your lifestyle, but I'm a very liberty-minded person, and I don't care what any consensual adults do themselves. That's up to them. That's on them. They can live their lives however they want. I don't have to agree with it, but in a certain extent, I accept it, because if you don't accept it, it's a real slippery slope to everybody losing their rights.
Oh, God, so, yeah. Especially with the government these days.
Yep. And so, Quantum's views on that, I don't agree with. That's one of the big things I don't agree with him on. And he really put his foot in the mouth over that, And to a certain extent, the actman has too. He said those things and on video and stuff. And so...
100% agree, man.
They're both two peas in a pod. So... and hey, I understand. people looking in from the outside will say, well, Anonymous is biased and stuff. And hey, absolutely. Everybody's got their own biases, I'm sure. There's always two sides to every story. You learn this in school, that when you do journalism, you got to look at both sides of the story, and the truth lies somewhere in between. That's always where the truth lies.
Yeah.
So I even with my beliefs, I'm not sitting here lying to you guys. I'm talking from my heart, being 100% honest with you guys. But I'm sure there's some ambiguity somewhere in between is where the truth is. So.
Yeah, and I'm always advocating to just straight up tell the truth. That's why I always go into Quantum's, comment section. Like, can you, when he was saying he was getting hacked and stuff, I'm like, dude, please just send me the emails. I'll cross out like the important stuff. Like if his IRL name was in there and stuff, I'll cross out the important stuff, especially when he did that one video where they were sending him those god awful pictures and he put it into his video. I'm just like, oh, so yeah, it is true. He is getting harassed. So yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the weird thing is somebody would say, well, show me the proof. Show me the proof. He wouldn't show me the proof. But he would talk to me about certain things and be like, dude, my YouTube channel, the one that they said was, oh, this one, Quantum is ban evading. It got taken down. It never got taken down by YouTube. It was never banned. He himself took it from a public to a private YouTube. All the videos to the public and the channel disappeared. But having known this, he did not come out and say that. So I don't know if he was wanting it to kind of fuel the controversy. I mean, that's kind of speculative, I don't really know. I know he does seem to get off on it. He does enjoy the attention. But, even something like that where he's got a smoking gun that he's 100% innocent of ban evading, he didn't come out and just share that with everybody. Because I had multiple people, coming in Discord. They were trying to get a hold of Quantum, and he immediately would either ban them, delete their comments, what have you. And so they would start private, direct messaging me and other members of the moderators in the Discord. And it'd be like, hey, can you ask Quantum this question? And I did. I actually would take screenshots of the questions. I'd send it over to him either on the Discord or to his cell phone. And be like, hey, this guy's asking about this. Would you like to reply? And some things he would reply, but for the most part, he just wasn't interested in really explaining what would happen. And that can only make things worse when you don't clarify, when you don't explain. Even like I said, in that one instance, he was 100% in the right, but he didn't go out and do it. And the only reason I can think of from the time that I've known him is I think that he kind of thrives off of it, to be honest.
Yeah, seems like it.
But, yeah. He's an interesting character. I mean, he's definitely one of those people that kind of has his emotions and his heart on his sleeve, and he's very reactive on that.
Yeah, and here's another question from one of my audiences that's happening. So, were you still on the server when I made that gigantic fucking video?
Which video are you talking about?
The hour-long video I made. Like, they're kind of curious of like how he reacted to it.
Did you make it on your channel?
Yeah.
Unless it's on YouTube, I don't view a lot of them.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's about like an hour long and like 15 minutes where I just showed all the evidence and stuff and blah, blah, blah. People are wondering how he reacted.
Okay, you're talking about that. No, honestly, it was kind of so... Because you went back and showed the evidence and rehashed a lot of the stuff, showed a lot of the comments and screenshots?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah, making sure I had the right one in mind. He did not mention it. He just did not mention it. Like I said, when people come in looking for to get an interview or get his take and get his side of the story. I mean, really, people kind of doing a good job as interviewers, like you've done too. That, you know, you've reached out to me and to others trying to reach out to Quantum. He doesn't entertain it. And to a certain extent, I mean, everybody's human. It's got to be some sort of a bit of an act, because if it didn't bother him, he wouldn't be putting out videos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reacting to them. So pretty much what you guys see, a lot of them going up mostly on that Controversial Truth channel, that is his reactive videos to what's going on and what he's thinking about. A lot of the stuff, because some people are like, wow, you know, if he says this, we got this screenshot of him saying this, man, what's he really say in private? No, he doesn't hold any punches. He's never said to me anything really more inflammatory than he's ever put on any text message. He actually says what he believes, and he does not seem to have a filter. That's what he believes, and that's exactly what he says.
Jeez.
So you're kind of seeing a guy that doesn't have a filter, is really what it is. I've met a lot of people in my life, and Quantum's the most outrageous in the fact that he does not filter what he thinks to how it comes out. Because there's a lot of things I'm sure all of us, you know, think of, like, maybe I shouldn't say it that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's pretty unfiltered. He should rename his channel from Controversial Truth to Quantum Uncensored. I mean,
yeah.
it's pretty out there.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's been. But, well,
yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk to? I'm getting to the point I got to go do
some
stuff with the family here shortly.
Yeah, well, anyway, anybody got questions for Anon? Anybody? Because, I mean, he's got to go in a couple minutes. If you got any burning questions, might want to ask him now. Tick tock.
So what have you been up to lately?
Nothing much, making videos and just, you know, work, just boring shit. What about you, man?
Been doing a lot of work. Every several weeks I'll do a 90-hour work week. So actually on Sunday I'll be doing that. It's no fun, but, you know, everybody's got to pay their bills, right? So.
Yeah, true. Oh, Magician just asked a question. He says, Anon, regardless of your beliefs, can you confirm that the tweets and the YouTube comments QTV made in 2018 and 2016 fall in line with QT's beliefs?
On which channel was he talking about? 2018? Was that on his channel?
The Next Gen Gamer. There was like some more comments that popped up about saying like, go ahead.
So on those, like I said, I've known Quantum a year and a half. So I did not know him during that time. So I can't specifically speak to that. I would assume that they're his, but, you know, I've never heard him specifically say that they were his, but, I mean, I would assume, as all you guys assume as well, that they are him. So he hasn't specifically told me anything. We haven't talked about that. Like I said, he doesn't respond to a lot of things. He kind of just puts out his side and what he's thinking. But when it comes to a lot of feedback, he doesn't go back and revisit anything that really he has done. So if you say, hey, Quantum, you said this, or, you know, whatever, he really doesn't go back and revisit those things. So, you know, anytime we've had these conversations, he definitely doesn't come out and volunteer. Even though everybody was talking about it, you know, and it's been talked about several times where it's been brought up, you know, hey, what about these tweets? What about those? The only one that I could specifically remember is one that was on, I believe it was Reddit. And there was a bunch of views about, it wasn't the Pulse views on them. It was about, what was it? it was basically a bunch of slurs he was calling gays and trans and stuff. And on that one specifically, he did come out to me on that one and tell me, hey, that wasn't me. The other ones he didn't say that, so I would probably assume that those are likely true.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that one, and that one had been debunked a few times. Some people keep running with it, but that one was created by some Reddit user that just used his screen name.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only one I can think of that is truly discredited, that kind of makes the rounds out there. But as to what Ninjishin was saying, it was honestly, like I say, it was before my time, and I really don't know one way or another. I can only guess, like you guys can guess. He's never mentioned it to me personally, but I would assume that you guys are correct on that.
Right.
It seems to fall in line with a lot of other views that I know he did say, so, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, I know you're close to having, having family time and stuff, so I'll let you go.
Okay, buddy. Well, I'll see you around, and take care, man.
You too, man. Be safe out there. The world's fucking insane.
Yep. All right, man.
Later.
Bye.
All right, chat. How about that? How about that to end the saga of Quantum TV? Sergeant, if Anon feels comfortable enough, then I'll post it. But yeah, I tried to get some questions in there for you guys, but the man is very limited on time, and he works hard as hell. And you know what? If Anon wants to, we'll do another one. We'll do another interview where it's just you guys asking questions and stuff. Yeah, you know what? That's fine, Minxie. How can I explain this? How do I go and talk to you, Minxie? Oh, I know what to do. Hold on a second. And also, if I missed any donos, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, guys. Should have been checking my Discord. God, I'm so terrible at this. Minxie, pick up.
Hello?
Quit ignoring me. Oh, there's Minxie.
Quit ignoring you? I don't ever ignore you. We have super secret DMs, my dude.
Liar. You ignored me. You favor Chris. I'm just kidding.
I do not, actually. I am super biased. I heart you a lot. I love trolling Chris.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hi.
What's
so,
up?
Did you see the video that Cupcake TV put on his main channel in regards to Ninjishin?
Yeah, I saw that in, what is it? Freaking...
And how he dug up old footage of mine, how he is trying to slander Ninjishin because he actually doesn't have anything to slander him with because his channel's been scrubbed for over 2 months, and I have evidence of this.
Yeah, he even admitted that to me. I think he admitted it to me, saying like, yeah, he's been scrubbing his channels, trying to prevent people getting more screenshots and stuff.
No, I meant Ninjishin's.
Oh.
Okay, so no, Ninjishin has not had an active channel since before July 11th when I did an interview with Classy and Ninjishin.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
all of this shit up, and I'm gonna expose this motherfucker for all of the bullshit that he fucking lied about in that video. Every single thing he said in that video is a blatant lie. And I am going to wreck him. And thank you, Anonymous, for coming on, because you answered a lot of questions that I had in regards to this psychotic individual. I appreciate that you're still kind, but I would not ever do an interview with Quantum TP after this. It is legitimate slander what he did to Magician today, and I am going to curb stomp it into the ground. I'm sorry, I'm a bit fiery, Gara. Like, it was really bad. To the point where he couldn't find any dirt on Magician, that he had to go into my old videos and use me for exposure. Level of slander.
Yep.
It is bullshit.
Time for the kitty cat claws.
Oh man, the kitty's coming out. The kitty's coming out. No, and the only thing Magician has done in the last 2 months is he will jump on some streams, he will talk to Rich, he will jump on any one of our streams off and on when he has time, and he'll make a comment as a viewer, as an audience member. Magician hasn't done shit.
Exactly.
So, the fact that he even released this on his channel just 100% confirms he does this solely for drama. He does this solely for clicks. And now he's trying to slander somebody who has literally quit YouTube, is doing a completely different job now, just because.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I'm going to say this real quickly, too, Minxie, too. Anon, or anybody could clip this and send this to Anon too. Anon, if Quantum TV comes after your family, I'm going to support you in more ways than you think. So if he does come after your family, you know how to get a hold of me.
Oh man, what I'm upset about is the whole thing with Ninjishin, because the whole video is a lie, right? The whole video is, and he's using outdated footage from months ago, trying to slander Magician now, and he hasn't done shit. He's only pissed off and butthurt because Magician has been in Rich's chat, chatting with the rest of the audience members, and he's done a couple super chats to Rich, and because Magician's name is even in the chat, he is trying to slander him. It is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Bullshit. So, Magician, if you're still watching, please email me, or Gara can forward me the email of whatever exchange happened before Quantum TV released this horrific video on you and used my footage to fucking do it. And you can tell because it's with my old microphone that happened months ago. And my interview with Classy and Magician was done on July 11th. And Magician already scrubbed his channel before that interview. So he hasn't said shit about Quantum TV on YouTube.
Yep.
He can eat a box of frickin' gummy dicks. I'm gonna save the rest of the momentum for my stream.
Exactly.
I Dragon Ball Z raged, chat. I'm sorry, but I saw this today and I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't believe it. Absolutely could not. And because he couldn't find anything to slander an Magician with, he used my channel. Like, bitch, how are you going to use my channel to try to slander somebody when you didn't even look at the interview that I did with Classy and Magician? Like, what? So,
gotta love it, Mixie.
That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. I got my webcam up. It doesn't matter that I'm sick. I'm going live in like T-minus 20 minutes. And we're going to go all over all of this. And I have the clip from the interview that I did with Ninjishin saying that he was clearing out his YouTube channel and that he had a different job. And that he has done sweet fuck all to Cupcake TV in months. Talk about some smear campaign against him with his $5 TV settings. Fucking liar. Absolute blatant lies.
Oh, God.
I got receipts, chat. I got receipts. And thank you, Anonymous, for doing this today, because this just adds to my receipts. Like,
you know what amazes me, though, Minxie? 4 months ago, we really all thought, nothing's going to happen to Quantum. Nothing's going to change. But look where the fuck we are right now. Like, it's insane. Holy, it's...
I don't have any against any YouTuber that wants to use any of my content for any videos, but the fact that you're using my content to legit slander and lie on someone, like full-blown lie on somebody, I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah,
can't.
nah,
Like, you
exactly.
know what? Everybody lies. And it's just something that we all, it's just across the board. Everybody lies in life, right? But when you maliciously lie and slander and try to destroy a human being just because you can't stand their name in a live stream chat, you are the most insecure, little, small, insignificant version of a human being that I could possibly even fathom. Like, ugh. And the fact that I even have to do a live stream about this, chat, Gara, the fact that I even have to put his ugly ass face on my freaking YouTube channel again just frustrates me so damn much because I was done. I was done after your video. I said it. I meant it. But then he has to go and lie on Ninjishin, try to slander him, and then use footage from my fucking channel. Oh, hell
Exactly.
no.
Exactly.
Oh, hell to the fucking no. Sorry, I don't know if you allow the bad, the naughty languages.
Go for the naughty language, just not the gamer words, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I would never use gamer words, you know that.
I don't know.
You know
Them
that.
kitty cat claws are really dangerous. That's
Do you want to know? Like, I don't even know what all the gamer words are. I just grew up gaming, so I don't even know what all the gamer words are.
right.
But everybody's like, oh, Minxie, don't use the gamer words. I'm like, what the heck are the gamer words? Like, I know the F slur is one of them, but I don't know all the rest of them, so I probably won't say them.
I'd be
She's very
careful.
dangerous.
Minxie, I'd be careful admitting that because I know there's some memers that are going to take that one and just go with it.
I don't care. Minxie doesn't pay attention to gamer words. Well, I actually love video games. I spend more time paying attention to the video game than I do about all the other crap.
Right.
All right, my lovelies. I didn't mean.
Hey, what's up,
your
Act Bro?
stream.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hijack your stream.
Don't worry about it. It was all done. I just, like, the majority of today was just to get on Anon on and, have him speak his, his words.
Oh, the Act Bro's in the chat. Hi, Act Bro. I'm going to be doing a stream in like T-minus 20 minutes. I'm going to flippin' rage all over the place. I'm just going to freaking kitty cat claw rage all over the place. I'm done. Done with this human being. I will not ever do a freaking interview with this person. Ever.
Yeah,
Anonymous,
no.
I would do an interview with. I would gladly do an interview with Anonymous. He seems very down to earth and actually an authentic human being. Quantum TV, not so much. I feel bad because I feel like, Anonymous really wanted to support QTV and he just completely went utterly unhinged. So it's like he lost a friend in the whole mix of this, and I do feel bad for Anonymous.
Yeah, I do too. It's just
Quantum TV is mentally unstable.
yeah, it's just like I feel bad for Anon. It seemed like he had a good relationship, but then he just railed Anon, and it's bad. It's bad.
It is. No, I'm gonna finish up my thumbnail to answer the chat. I'm going live on YouTube, and if Gara wants to join me for the kitty cat claw roaring, he is more than welcome.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't want to hijack your stream, so.
I'm going to debunk all of the bullshit that he said in this slanderous attack. And I'm going to say slanderous attack against Ninjishin. 100%. When I saw that today, I was absolutely blown away. And I'm not having. That goes against, that's just fucked up. Really fucked up.
Right? Shoot.
Yeah, no, I'm not playing when it comes to that. We're going for the things, chat. We're going for the things. No, we're not. We're not going to report. That's on Ninjishin. If Ninjishin wants to file anything against Quantum TV in regards to slander, or if he has seen the video, or if he wants to take like actual legal action against him, that's on Ninjishin. Please do not go and mass flag videos. Please do not give Quantum TV any engagement. I will be showing a version of the video. I'm not going to give him. I didn't give him any exposure on his channel. The video was sent to me. Cupcake TV isn't worth that. Don't give him the exposure. Don't help him in the algorithm. Just don't. because that's what he wants. He wants the engagement. He wants you to click on his video. He wants the dislikes. He wants the comments because he feeds off the drama.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yep.
I'm gonna dip. I'm gonna let you talk to your audience and wrap up your stream if you're going to, Gara. And I love your face. And I'm gonna go finish my thumbnail.
Same to you, Minxie. Go have some fun. All right.
Dude, I think I just used up all my flame fire. I gotta rile that back up again.
Just watch the video again.
I know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. Yeah, I'm going over the video again. Believe me, it'll get riled up. All right.
Oh boy.
Love your face, Gara.
Same to you, boy. All right, chat. So this has been an interesting 24 hours. But anyway, you know, guys, it's been fun. I'm gonna go fucking lay down. I'm sick as a dog with a fever, and I could not pass this up. So anyway, guys, love y'all like the fam, and I'll see you guys maybe in the next stream, maybe the next video. Who freaking knows? I'll see you guys later. Later, fam.